I received my copy of the Solo Game Master's Guide and wanted to talk about it. So let's get into this. Welcome to Solitary RPG. 7 months ago, I started this YouTube channel, and one of the first videos I recorded was a review of the PDF version of the Solo Game Master's Guide. It has been the most popular video on the channel, and I felt it would be nice to come back and talk about it again now that I have the physical book and not just my printed PDF copy. Over the 7 months, I have started some new interest, and one of my new interests is bookbinding. So I actually want to take a little bit of a look at the physical book itself, not necessarily the content, but the book itself. The first thing I wanted to point out about this book is that it is actually stitch bound, which is important because that means the book is going to last. And you can tell that it's stitch bound between pages 110 and 111. When I flip it open, you can see the stitching right here. And this means the book is going to last a long time because stitch bound books last longer than glue bound, from what I've learned. And I like the fact that they did that. The cover of the book is really nice, and I really like the artwork that they used. And what was also really cool about what they did is the end pages, when you flip it open, continue that story. It is continued on the cover, but unfortunately, a lot of that's covered up by this advertisement. And I like that little touch where they actually took the end pages, and end pages are the pages that hold the text block, the actual content of the book inside, and they're glued to the cover and all that. But I like how they finished it off, and it just continues that story and shows you everything that's going on. So I like that. And then the back end pages are just advertisement for Dune and Cthulhu. So it's really nicely made, and it's those little touches. And this is a book that is going to last. It's meant to be read. It's meant to be used on a regular basis. And I just really think Modiphius did a great job putting this book together. In my original video, I reviewed the PDF copy of the Solo Game Master's Guide. And I'm going to put a link in the description below. So if you want to go back and watch that original review, I would strongly recommend it because you get to see my actual excitement at the time when I'm first reviewing it, just read it, and I had all these thoughts in my mind going racing about this book. And it's got a lot of good information in it. However, my thoughts about the book itself have changed a little bit. I kind of see this book now as more of a journal that Geek Gamers has put together for us to read so that we can get into kind of her thought process and how she approaches things. I still don't think this is a how-to book, and Deborah actually says it's not a how-to book. This is just a book on her thoughts, but I kind of approach the book now as more of a journal. It actually has inspired me to start my own journal for solo gaming itself, and that is why I created this book. This is just a standard journal, but it's just full of all the tools and things that I use for solo gaming. And I've got her Solo Gamers wallet, the Oracle she likes to use. Any Oracle that I find that I use, I put in my journal, simply because you never know when you're going to need a different oracle. And I like to use oracles that match the game that I'm playing, the mechanics of the game. So if I'm playing a D20 game, I want a D20 oracle. If I'm playing a percentile game, I want a percentile oracle. If I'm playing a D6 game, I want a D6 oracle. So that's why I like to have a lot of different oracles available to me. And then here on Appendix B, the solo session checklist and guide to starting. I find there's just a lot of great information on these 2 pages. And if you don't have some sort of a checklist or something, I would encourage you to probably think about making a checklist for your solo sessions. Just do I have all the tools? Do I have everything that I need? And it is covered nicely in this book, and it's just something that I feel people should have. So it's right here. That's the colored version of it, which the art in this book is top notch. I really love the art in this book. So when I reviewed the game originally, one of the comments that I made is there were a lot of blank pages in the book when I printed out the PDF. And a lot of those blank pages are still here. And one of my hopes for this book was that we were going to be able to use this as a workbook or as a journal so that we could write in the margins and highlight and really get into it. And these blank pages would give us a place to write down thoughts. There's actually exercises in this book where these pages could be used for those exercises. And they still have the blank pages, but the paper, it's kind of a satin finish, and I don't know if writing on this paper with a pen would actually work. I have a feeling that the ink might not be able to penetrate this paper because of the finish, but that's okay. Since we still have these blank pages, we can put post-it notes in here, and we can still use this as a workbook or as a journal if you so desired. And you could just use these blank pages to put all your post-it notes, or you get big post-it notes and cover up the whole page. So you have a place to write. So that way, when you're finding notes or you're finding things that are of interest, you're not sticking sticky notes over the text. You actually have places throughout this book to put those sticky notes. And it's just, to me, I wish more books did this. Gave us, especially in a rule book or any kind of instruction book, gave us some blank pages throughout the book so that we can put information on it and not cover up the text. Because how terrible is it if you're reading this particular chapter and you got a sticky note over it? You got to pull the sticky note off to read it and then put the sticky note back on. You can just do that here. Would I have liked it to be, the paper to be of a quality that would allow us to actually write on it? Sure, I guess I could have liked that, but I don't know if that kind of quality paper would last very long, because you're talking about more of just regular paper, like print-on-demand books, and that paper gets dirty, so this paper's not going to get dirty. So there is good to having this paper, and still having the blank pages still offer us that opportunity to use this as a workbook and have a place to keep our notes so that we can just have them accessible. And that, again, will make this a book that you can refer back to on a regular basis. You can add your own personal touches, your own personal information into here. Like if you get to some of the Oracle pages and different things like that, and you don't like the oracles that are being talked about here, you can put your own oracles in here and still refer to it. So you could turn this into your own solo game master's journal and still keep all the information. I know that's long-winded, but it was one of my main points I brought up when I was reviewing the book, and I'm happy to see that the blank pages are still there for us to have accessibility to them. Yeah, we're not going to be able to write on the paper, but this paper is probably going to last longer, and it's not going to get dirty. I have a lot of print-on-demand books where just flipping through them and stuff, the paper, because it is something you can write on, it starts to get dirty over time, and so this won't. I still feel the information inside this book is very valuable to anyone playing solo games. It's great to have access to the knowledge that Geek Gamers is sharing with the readers. A lot of the information can be found just watching her videos, but having it actually written down in a book form that we can refer to and refer back to on a regular basis is just a great tool to have. And this is one of those books, just like the many tables that we have and game masters guides that we have and the stacks of books that we already have. This is just one of those that, for me, I refer back to more regularly, especially when I'm getting ready to tackle maybe a bigger role-playing game or just trying something new. Now I'm going to kind of recap a little bit about my experience as a YouTube channel. Over the past 7 months, the channel has grown, and I'm having a lot of fun creating videos, talking about different products that I'm using or different products that I find interesting that I purchase, and I'm having a good time. The channel, when I started this, I had no subscribers. Since then, checked this morning, there was 431 subscribers, and I appreciate everyone that subscribes and comments on the videos and likes the videos. It encourages me, just like any other YouTuber out there. That's the kind of stuff we need so that we know we're doing the right thing. So that's important. My original review of this book was my most popular video. My second most popular video is Twilight 2000. And when I reached the 1 year mark, when I've been on YouTube for 1 year, I want to go back and revisit one of the more popular game systems that I have played and shared on the channel. And so far, that's looking like Twilight 2000. So I've decided that when I reach that 1 year anniversary mark, which isn't too far away if you think about it, I'm going to revisit Twilight 2000, taking things that I've learned from the Solo Game Master's Guide and some of the other solo game books that I've read, and I've grown as a gamer. And I have new ways of doing things, and I have new techniques, and my style has gotten a little bit better. So I felt it would be really cool to go back and revisit that game system and see what improvements I can make, and just see if my experience with that game has changed any. I haven't played it since I recorded that video, because there's so many other games out there I want to play, and there's so many other things I want to do. But I'll go back and revisit that. So thank you very much for watching. And again, if you haven't purchased this book, I encourage you. It's a good book. It has a lot of great information. It's not a hard read. Most of the book is made up of the tables and charts, and they're just great to have access to. But it's just a good book, and it's finally released in the United States. It's taken a while. It was frustrating waiting 7 months for it, but this seems the way of the world right now. I have Kickstarters that were supposed to be delivered in June and July that I'm still waiting on because of shipping delays and shipping problems. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.